I've been a wedding planner for 6 years, and trust me, I've seen it all. Bridezillas, drunk uncles, runaway grooms. But nothing prepared me for Mia and Daniel's wedding. Mia was a dream client, organized, kind, and absolutely glowing with excitement. Daniel, on the other hand, was distant. He was polite but rarely showed up for meetings. When he did, he barely spoke and spent most of the time on his phone. "I think he's just stressed with work," Mia told me during one of our planning sessions. "He's been pulling a lot of late nights." I nodded, but something about his behavior didn't sit right with me. 2 weeks before the wedding, Mia called me in a panic. "Can we push our final fitting to tomorrow? Daniel has a work emergency." I agreed, but when I passed by the cafe near my office later that day, I saw Daniel. He wasn't alone. He was sitting across from a woman, leaning in close, laughing in a way I'd never seen during our meetings. My stomach twisted, but I reminded myself it wasn't my place to jump to conclusions. Maybe it was innocent. But then I saw it. The woman reached across the table and slid her hand over his. Daniel didn't pull away. I didn't sleep that night. Do I tell Mia? Do I stay quiet? I tried to justify it. Maybe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe it wasn't what it looked like. The next morning, Mia showed up for her fitting, beaming. She showed me a bracelet Daniel had given her the night before, engraved with their wedding date. "He's so thoughtful," she gushed. I couldn't hold it in anymore. "Mia, I need to tell you something," I said, my voice shaking. I told her what I'd seen. Her face went pale, and for a moment I thought she might faint. But then she straightened up and said, "Thank you for telling me." The next day, she called off the wedding. Here's where it gets interesting. A week later, I got a call from Mia. She wasn't crying or angry. She sounded determined. "I want you to help me plan something else," she said. "What kind of event?" I asked cautiously. "A celebration," she said, and I could hear the smile in her voice. For me, for starting over. We turned her canceled wedding into a self-love party. The venue was transformed, the catering was still on, and her closest friends and family showed up to celebrate her. Mia walked in that day in her wedding dress, altered to look more like a ball gown, and owned the room. She gave a speech about betrayal, resilience, and finding yourself when everything falls apart. Daniel? He didn't show up, but word got around that the woman he'd been seeing dumped him when she found out he'd been engaged. Mia's story went viral after her cousin posted pictures of the event. Now she runs a blog helping women navigate heartbreak and start anew. And me? I still plan weddings. But Mia's story reminds me that sometimes the best happy endings are the ones you create for yourself.